All right, and our next guest is someone who actually helped work on the Apollo program. Hello, welcome.
Hi, Robin. I'm Candy Sims. I was a Guyette when I worked on this Saturn program, and I helped put the men on the moon. I was out of the program by the time they got there, but that was my job, was to make sure that the tests of the launch vehicle were successful. And if they were not, what went wrong? Now, what's interesting, I want to tell you about this too. When I was at IBM on the Cape, they had 1,000 IBMers there, all professionals, most of them engineers, but a number of programmers. They had 9 women, and I was one of the 9. And they did not know what to do with us 9 women. So they put us all in the same department, and we wrote this post-processing program, which is what it was called. And we had, part of what I wrote was the operating system, all the input-output of the operating system. I had to write that, and then I was responsible for tracking how the fuel and the oxygen filled up on the first stage rocket, which is that bottom one, the black lines and down.
Okay.
The black line is down. And that was what I was supposed to graph. The computer was an 8-bit per word computer. Now they're 32. We had 8 kilobytes of memory on it. Now my phone has 8 gigabytes of memory on it, which is like 8,000 times bigger than that. So there was limited what we could do, but we hooked computers together and we lifted men off to the moon.
So if you had any advice to someone who wants that kind of job, what would you tell them?
Take as much math as you can. Learn a lot about a lot of different things. So you need the English skills, you need the math, you need people skills. So, get as wide variety of things that you can. 2 things that were really kind of pivotal for me when 3 astronauts were killed on the pad while I was working there. Ed White, Cheney, and Gus Grissom. And I was supposed to be working underneath the rocket while they were testing in the capsule. But I had traded computer science, so I was not there. However, when it came time to figure out what caused it, I had the privilege, I guess you would call it, of talking to the FBI because I could tell them that no, based on our reports, it didn't come from the rocket. It came from the launch, the capsule. We sat in a room with 3 FBI people, my boss and myself, and they would say, "Mr. Tice, can you tell me about this?" And he would say, "No, I can't, but Candy can." And I would tell them. They wouldn't look at me. And then they would say, "Well, Mr. Tice, what about this?" "I don't know, but Candy can," because she did the work. And that was what made Hidden Figures important to me, because that was one of the things that was very similar, because they ignored those women. They didn't exist. And the other was the bathroom problem, because the black ladies could not use the white people's bathrooms, so they had to walk about 20 minutes just to get to the bathroom. So you would run to the bathroom. Where we were, they had no facilities for women if you were working on the pad. You had to get in your car, which was a half a mile away, drive somewhere else, go to the bathroom, come back, and finish your testing. And, often we were working in the middle of the night, so you didn't really want to do that. So they eventually decided to put a bathroom in, and they used the mop room. My boss finally told me, he says, "Every time you go out to the pad, make sure you flush 3 or 4 times, use lots of toilet paper and a lot of paper towels, and throw them all in the trash." I was on site, on the job, the first time they lifted off the Saturn that you see behind me. It was the first time it was not unmanned. They didn't know whether it was going to go or not. And if there were any problem, I could be there. I should be there. If I didn't have that, there was no way I would ever be allowed, because women were not on the pad. I was able to stand out in front of the vehicle assembly building, kind of leaning against the wall, and watching this rocket get ready to go off 3.5 miles away. And it is one of the most exciting times of my life. you could not only see it going, you could feel it. You could feel the waves coming at you from the heat and the roar of the engines. And all around me were men, grown men, standing, jumping up and down, yelling, "Go baby," and crying. We were all crying. It was a fantastic experience. And I would hope that anybody who gets a chance to do something like that would.
Oh, is there ever a time that you have felt lonely, or maybe you have some tips for other people that might feel lonely?
Mostly after my second husband died. I was really lonely for that time. And I guess I could be lonely now, but I keep myself very busy. And I told you when we talked before, when we wrote back and forth, when he died, we had a yard that needed some work, and I started digging holes and planting flowers. And now there's not a whole lot of grass left, and he's been gone 18 years. But I also found that when I'm lonesome, if I reach out to somebody else, there's other people that are lonely too, and a lot more lonely than I am. So I concentrate on others.
Is there anything else you would like to say to the kids that are watching this?
Well, if you have the chance to do something a little different, take a chance on it.
All right. Well, thank you again so much for being generous with your time and talking to us. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
I've enjoyed it. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.